How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and today is another Black Metal Monday. And today, sort of like last Black Metal Monday, I'm going to be doing top 5 OG black metal bands, but this time, as per request by Celeste the Metal Girl, I am going to be doing the top Finnish black metal bands, top OG Finnish black metal bands. So with that, I had a lot to choose from. I just kind of wrote a bunch of them down just so that I know what the hell I'm talking about here. Now, the ones that I have physical copies of anything are Thy Serpent, which started in 1992, and they've had 3 albums. I got their first one and their last one. I don't have the middle one. I need to pick that up sometime. Satanic Warmaster, which started in 1998, and they have 5 albums. This is Fimbulwinter. It's pretty good. I definitely need Cerulean Satanist Madness and others. Another one that I've got here in physical copy is Horna, which started in 1994 and have 9 albums. So they've got quite the discography going on. This one is Kohi Udexan Nuosa. Leviosa. No, I don't fucking know. Whatever their second album is, it's this. So I know some people are trying to say this is the first one, but I consider it the second album. So eat a dick. Anyways, that's that one. Next is I just said Horna. The fuck? Goatmoon from 2002, and they've got 5 albums. So, unfortunately, Goatmoon doesn't count on this one, but they are a great kind of honorable mention. I'm not including anything over the 2000s. So, unfortunately, Goatmoon, although it is a great Finnish black metal band from 2002 with 5 albums under his belt, that being Black Goat himself, I can't count him, unfortunately. So he's going to get set to the side. And Archgoat. These guys are one of the fucking OGs that started in 1989, and they've got 4 albums and a ton of splits, and probably a few EPs too. So this one, I've only got the Light Devouring Darkness. I think that's the second album. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So yeah, raw black metal since 1989. Really, really good stuff. The vocals are kind of like this low, growly kind of thing. So it's not your atypical black metal style, but they're considered maybe war metal. But anyways, these guys are from way back when, and we're going to be ranking them. Now, since I had to kind of kick out Goatmoon from the pile, thus leaving only 4 contenders, the other contender is going to be another old school band from the Finnish like black metal monsters, is Impaled Nazarene. I'm gonna have up in the corner when I start talking about them. They're from 1990, and they've got 12 albums. Crazy stuff. And the funny thing about Impaled Nazarene is that I didn't really know too much about them besides Tolkormt Nors and Ugra Karma. Now, when I first heard Impaled Nazarene, I'm not sure whether it was Ugra Karma or if it was the Nors album, but when I heard them, it wasn't quite my thing, and the vocals, I think, were just jacked up, and it was too fast and too just blast beats the band. So I don't know, I didn't really give them much of a shot. So for the sake of this video, I spent a lot of time today going through quite a bit of their discography. I didn't go through all 12 albums because I figured if I got about half or a little bit over half into my system, that I'd be able to at least make a healthy choice on where they stand in this top 5 face-off against the OG Finnish black metal bands. I kind of went through up till Absence of War, which is the 7th album. Now, the one that I really do not like from Impaled Nazarene, since they are on the list here in competition with these other 4 bands, I'm going to be talking about them first. So let's talk about them. Follow with me here. The first album, Tolkormt Nors, from 1993 is a kind of a big nope from me, because the vocals just weren't there for me. I didn't enjoy them. The rest of the production just seemed kind of eh. The riffs were kind of uninspired. It was mostly just kind of samey with the odd riff here or there and whatnot, kind of just letting you know that there might be a different song coming ahead. So that was kind of a big note for me. I'm not a big fan of the first album. And then Ugra Karma came along, and I'm just like, I hope there's not more of this. So it played. I listened to it, also from 1993. It's not bad. To me, it's on par with the Orange or Red Dark Funeral albums. It's talented, sure, I guess. The vocals got a little better, but it's still not amazing and heralding black metal. It's not the greatest, in my opinion. So moving along, this is where things change for me, though. Suomo Finland Perkele, the third album from 1994, was good. I was surprised. I put it on, I'm like, damn. Just straight up from the beginning where they yell the name of the album, and then they just go right into this like crazy guitar riff and just like, well, damn. And then it kind of slows down because it's the intro track, and then picks back up with the first song, and it's just like this nice kind of mid-paced riff with some guitaring and some like good drummings, and the vocals were even better than Ugra Karma. So I'm like, all right, nice, okay. Maybe I just have been putting them off because of the first two albums, and that's all anyone ever talks about, by the way. All anyone ever talks about when I see them on YouTube is Ugra Karma and Pol Kompt Nors. It's just like, well, if this is the best they've got, I'm out. Luckily, I stuck with it and actually listened to more, because it's actually pretty decent. So the Suomo Finland Perkele album, third album from 1994, gets a hell yeah from me. Good stuff. So then I'm like, all right, maybe it picks up even more. So I listened to Latex Cult, the fourth album from 1996. And then I was kind of disappointed again. And I'm like, well, fuck, because it all just seemed like it could have been one long song. If there wasn't like the breaks in between and maybe some of the samples, it could have just been like one long same song. There's too much similarity between each track. Didn't work for me, and that was kind of like a nope. Moving on to Rapture, though, the fifth album in 1998. The album might as well just be another tremolos and blast beats and screaming the band, because that's all it was. It wasn't really anything different. It was basically Latex Cult, a teeny bit better, but they didn't do anything. And once again, that's a note for me, right? So far, they only really have one good album to me, Suomo Finland Perkele, so that being the third album. So then I kept pushing through it. I'm like, I've got to find another one, because if they did one good album, they have to do a couple more, right? In a vast list of 12 albums? Okay, I'm just going to keep powering through it. So then I got to Nile. And it kind of made me double take at a second, because in the video for Nile, there's a picture of Alexi Laiho with the other band members. I'm like, what the fuck? And then when I saw the picture of him while the music was playing, like, he's not doing vocals for them now, is he? So then I had to go to fucking Metal Archives and look it up, and I'm like, nope, but he sure the hell is doing guitaring, and you can definitely hear Alexi Laiho's guitars going on throughout Nile, the sixth album from 2000. But the thing is, the more I listen to the album, I'm like, the vocals seem like he's straining a bit. Like, they're not as good and perfected as it was from the third album. And it wasn't like all that kind of like screaming that they're doing in the last two albums that seemed like, even though it was samey all the way through, at least it was like consistent and it didn't seem like he was straining. Whereas in Nile, the vocals seemed like he's like for every, like, must be take 21 for those songs. But it seemed like he was on take 21 for every one of the songs in the album, maybe minus one or two. So I'm like, that's kind of weird that it sounds like his vocals are a bit strained, and they just left it on there. So the vocals were kind of maybe like a 6 out of 10 for me for that one. But the guitaring, Alexi Laiho's influence on Nile was undeniable, and it was great. So Nile got a pass for me, even though the vocals are kind of, I don't know what was happening there. And then I kind of stopped after Absence of War, which is the seventh album in 2001. And it seemed like the Alexi Laiho influence carried on over into this album, even though it's not the same guitarist. The guitarist for this album actually passed away, so RIP guitarist for Absence of War. it definitely was slightly better production and slightly better vocals than Nile. So that, once again, that's a thumbs up from me for both of those albums. So there you go. You got 3 albums with a thumbs up so far, and you've got 4 albums with kind of a meh to nope. So this is why I'm going to be putting Impaled Nazarene at number 5. This is not Impaled Nazarene, this is Archgoat. I'm an idiot. So we're just going to take this and we're going to stick it down here for number 5. So Impaled Nazarene, great big discography. I'm sure if I had kept going beyond Absence of War, I would have found probably better albums. But since the start of their discography was kind of like way down here for me, and then their 3rd album peaked, and then it dropped off again, and then Nile and Absence of War kind of started working its way back up. I'm assuming the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th album is hopefully going on an upward trajectory with how well I would perceive it, but just the bad first impression for me is why I'm going to have to leave them at number 5. I'm just going to pick one up. I'm not sure where I'm going to rate this yet, but the next one is one of the old school ones again. This is Archgoat. I only have, like I said, the Light Devouring Darkness album. I need to get the Horror of Bethlehem. I need to get the newest album and the other ones. But this is actually a really good band. I really enjoyed Archgoat. The fact that they get to be called black metal, even though they sound like a lot of like death metal influences, but it must be because of the guitaring at points or the lo-fi production value. But the thing is with Archgoat, no matter what they put out, you know what to expect with it. It's going to be top-notch quality. It's got that doomy death lo-fi sound. Really, really good stuff for sure. Highly recommend for people who might not necessarily be into that really, really fast, really super, super lo-fi, screamy, demonic kind of black metal stuff. So if you're into death metal and you're trying to make your way over into black metal, this would be the thing to do it for sure. If you want to take that route, it kind of just sounds like kind of haunting old school death metal with a slight lo-fi production value with some kind of doomy black metal riffs in it. They definitely pull it off a lot better, in my opinion, than Barathrum, another kind of Finnish black metal band that kind of had a giant influence on the doomy black metal sound. Barathrum started in 1991 and they've got 8 albums. They seem to do better as they went on. I listened to their first 3 or 4 and I kind of just like, nope. And even when they started getting better production value, I'm just kind of, this wasn't for me. So that's why they're kind of an honorable mention that didn't kind of get added in on this list. So Archgoat, in my opinion, does it better, whatever Barathrum were trying to do. So yeah, I'm not going to rank this quite yet, but I just want to talk about them for a bit. Really good stuff, and I need to get more. Next is Horna. These guys are fantastic. Started in 1994, have 9 albums, and the biggest fucking buttload of EPs and splits I've ever seen next to Drowning the Light. So, man, these guys got so much material, it's almost hard not to put these guys high up on the list. Because, man, Horna has an incredible amount of black metal put out on what was a regular basis, and just have some of the best sprawling adventures in black metal when it comes to riffs and different kind of experimental parts here and there, and different splits who they've done different things with. And Shoutrog from Horna just does crazy different stuff with Sargeist and Behexen and whatnot. So Horna, I think, is going to be number 2. I'm not even going to try and debate that right now. Horna is definitely number 2 on here. Really, really good stuff. Highly recommend you check them out. They are definitely underrated. If you want some great Finnish black metal, these guys do it right. They do it right a lot of the time. I think there's only like a mid discography album that kind of drops off a bit, but the rest of it's just straightforward, awesome, second wave sounding black metal. You can't go wrong. They're just really, really good. And if you're into that kind of raw, original black metal sound, these guys deliver it in handfuls. And there's lots to dive into. Like I said, 9 albums and just so many splits and EPs. Horna is definitely number 2. Next. Holy fuck, man. How is it like 15 minutes already? This is going to be a long one, folks. So I hope you've got some, like, I don't know, popcorn or Snickers or something, like a beer, because this is going to be bad. All right, next one here is Satanic Warmaster. These guys started, once again, 1998, got 5 albums out, all just incredibly vicious, intense, blistering black metal. This album has so many good riffs in it, it's insane. This being their latest release though, Fimbulwinter, highly recommend you pick this up. And man, this group has some frosty fucking riffs, let me tell you. Once again, sort of like Hornet, if you want that straight up, old school, just punishing, grim black metal sound that's just gonna have you fucking cursing the sun and howling at the moon or whatever the fuck. Satanic Warmaster is definitely the way to go. I really, really enjoy this. But before I give it a rank, let's move on to the last one that we're going to talk about here. Now, here we go. This is Thy Serpent with Christ Crusher. I just, man, besides coming out in 1992 and releasing only 3 albums, Thy Serpent, when I picked this up at my local Deja Vu Discs, shout out to Deja Vu Discs, this was really good. I couldn't believe how much a blind buy was just impressive. Like, this album was so good. And the funny thing is, it's quite the departure from the earlier albums, and at least the first album, because I have the first album as well, and it's more of like a woodsy feeling, kind of atmospheric black metal. It's not boring, but it's not like outstanding as well. It doesn't have like the blistering crazy riffs. It doesn't have that like blasphemous sounding like crazy in your face intense vocals. It's just kind of like a paint by numbers atmospheric black metal. There's probably some really good riffing and really good guitar composition. These guys really crushed it with Christ Crusher. Really, really enjoyed this album. I want to get the middle album that I'm kind of lost right now for the name of it, so please shout that out in the comments. What's these guys' second album name? It's something that I definitely have to get eventually, because I do have the Forests one. This one is what I'm talking about, the Forests of Witchery one. Pretty rare from what I've heard. I've tried to sell this before because I didn't realize what a gem it was, and I just didn't really care because the music wasn't all that for me at the time. But I'm definitely holding on to it now. Yeah, it might not be the best or my favorite black metal that really stirs my cup of tea, but it's good stuff. It's well composed and very talented is what I'm trying to say. So I need to get the second album, but this one is great. If you want some good standard fucking sounding black metal from Finland, this is the way to go. So yeah, I just need to get the second album now. So all right, now it's down to Satanic Warmaster, Thy Serpent, and Archgoat. Impaled Nazarene being the 5th, and with what I got left here, I'm going to have to say that Thy Serpent is going to be number 4 out of 5. So Impaled Nazarene at 5, Thy Serpent at 4. Now we're left with number 3. So out of these, which one do you think I'm going to be picking for number 3? That's right. Archgoat is going to be number 3. Horna, once again, like I said, number 2. So that leaves us with one last one. Obviously, Satanic Warmaster is going to win this. The only reason why I feel like it's kind of a cheat to give it to Satanic Warmaster is because they started in 1998. And they're not super duper OG like Archgoat from 1989, or Thy Serpent from 92, or like Impaled Nazarene from 1990. But it's still, they're a 1990s black metal band from Finland, and to me they deliver the best riffs, the most consistent sounding, just evil fucking black metal, and it's just something I find I come back more to over even Horna, who technically should win the first place here because of how many albums they have and how OG they are. But I don't find that I go back to this album quite enough. And I find that it's this one, and not Thy Serpent, not Archgoat, and certainly the hell not Impaled Nazarene. I might go back to Impaled Nazarene more now that I know that their later albums kind of kick a little bit more ass than Norse, and fucking Ugra Karma. But yeah, I think I'm actually even going to pick up a physical copy of Suomo Finland per Kelly, because that was a surprise, and a really nice surprise. Anyways, coming in at number 1 from Finnish black metal bands, the OG Finnish black metal bands that is Satanic Warmaster. Great stuff, absolutely love it. A couple of shout outs though, that being Barathrum from 1991 with 8 albums, Goat Moon, even though I can't count them as OG because they started after 2000, and one that wasn't really mentioned on here was Beharit. Beharit kind of didn't get put on here, one, because I don't have a physical copy yet. I need to get Drawing Down the Moon. It is fantastic. The couple of middle albums that were, I don't know, industrial or symphonic or whatever the fuck it was, electronic music, hell no. Actually, that's a lie. I do own Ingram. Ingram was good, and I guess I could have probably included that in here, but they kind of get booted off the list because they did depart from black metal and do those weird electronic or other albums, so I couldn't really include them when all these other guys stayed true to the fucking genre throughout the whole thing. So yeah, they get a shout out. And then Clandestine Blaze in 1998. I checked out quite a bit of their albums. This is gonna be so long. Fire Burns on Our Hearts, Night of the Unholy Flames, Fist of the Northern Destroyer, Deliverers of Faith, and Church of Atrocity, so up to their 5th album. And I find with Clandestine Blaze, the newer and newer stuff they come out with, the better and better and better they got. So maybe they could have made it onto my list. I just didn't know too much about them, and their first like 4 albums kind of didn't really do too much for me. I mean, the 4th album, Deliverers of the Faith, was actually pretty good. It kind of sounded like De Mysterious Dom Sathanas worship, and they definitely stepped it up a notch after the first 3 albums. But like I said, that first impression with the first 3 albums kind of just seemed kind of boring and kind of minus a couple of 2 or 3 riffs here and there throughout the entire album. It just didn't really catch my attention that much. Same with the 2nd album and the 3rd album, just dark, dissonant, very repetitive and forgetful. But as Clandestine Blaze moved on into modern times, I think they started getting better and better and better at their art. So the weird thing is, I remember hearing probably one of their newer albums and thinking it was amazing. So when I went back and rechecked Clandestine Blaze, I'm like, why does this sound so bad? But yeah, it seems everything after Deliverers of Faith, they seem to start getting better and better exponentially. So unfortunately they didn't make it onto this list, but I've hopefully done this list justice. Hopefully, Celeste the Metal Girl, you enjoyed this top 5 OG Finnish black metal bands countdown list. And that's it. For Glory, for the Rebellion and Alliance, Slammerella out.